Okay, Saurabh, thank you so much for that context. I just want to bring our audiences a little bit more information here. Saurabh, my colleague, is outside, as we've just told you, where the JDU meeting is going to be taking place today. Siddhant, as we already told you, was live outside the house of where Rabri Devi is going to be holding and chairing a meeting with the rest of the RJD. And then we have my colleague Arun Dhanta. Arun is with us right here in Delhi. He's with us from outside Lalu's residence. Lalu Prasad Yadav, a former chief minister, also an RJD head honcho. Now, let's go over to Arun to understand more. Arun, our audiences may remember that all the way back in 2017, it was Nitish Kumar that had originally broken away from the Mahagathbandhan with the Congress and the RJD over claims of corruption within the RJD. Today, Lalu Prasad Yadav has been convicted in 5 different fodder scam cases. Tell us, how has the JDU portrayed that since? How does the RJD feel about these developments? Tell us both of those questions first. Then we'll ask you, when it comes to outside support that the RJD is possibly going to offer, what does that actually mean and what will that look like?
Well, see, Toya, in 2015, when Mahagathbandhan, formed in Bihar, Nitish Kumar, RJD, Congress, they all were part of it. That Mahagathbandhan only lasted for 2 years. It was only in 2017 when Nitish Kumar separated from Mahagathbandhan and joined hands with NDA, and thereafter we had seen the first time from 2017 to 2020 they ran a good government. Then again in 2020 both contested the elections together. Now we know that in past couple of months the relationship between the state leaders of BJP and Nitish Kumar were not good. It was only the central leadership which was regularly sending messages to the state leaders that they want to continue with Nitish Kumar as the chief minister. In fact, there was feeling in the state leaders of BJP there in Bihar that even when we have the larger chunks of seats, we have 77 seats, still we have given this post to Nitish Kumar. And that was something which was making them uncomfortable. But it was only the intervention of the central leadership. Therefore, we had seen, the acrimonious relationship between Nitish Kumar and the Speaker of Bihar Assembly, Vijay Kumar Sinha. That is something which can be seen by anyone in the House of Bihar Assembly. So there were various instances in which Nitish Kumar was giving signals to BJP that he is uncomfortable. Some of the sources in JDU were telling us that he wanted to make few appointments. The ministers he wanted to pick from BJP, it was not allowed to him, and therefore this was boiling to a point where Nitish Kumar would break up with BJP. And in fact, we had seen the candidature of the president candidate and the vice president candidate. That's something which we are also given to understand, that Nitish Kumar was upset that he was not consulted for those decisions. Now it is up to him, because we had seen both RJD and Nitish Kumar were targeting at each other. When Nitish Kumar separated from RJD, he said the ministers of RJD were involved in corruption, and therefore I had to break away from them. Now, how they are going to come together, what is going to be the message which will go amongst the people of Bihar? Remember, now if you go back to RJD and Congress, then after 3 years, once the election will come, with which method or strategy you'll go with the people. That is something which is going to be very, very crucial. And BJP, on the other hand, is holding its card very close to its chest. They are not revealing anything as to what they are planning to do. They have given clear message to all their leaders that they should not speak on this matter. They should refrain from speaking on Bihar development. So they are waiting for the JDU's decision to come first, and then accordingly they will see what can be done. And therefore today's day is going to be very, very important. Congress spokespersons and RJD spokespersons have have already said that they are ready because their fight is against BJP, and if JDU wants to come in, then they will embrace him. So who's going to be the chief minister then, and what is going to be the other formula which they will devise? But for BJP, it is wait and watch policy at this moment, Toya, and they will only see what they can do once the decision will be made by JDU.
Arun, thank you so much for sharing all of those details with our audiences. All right, quickly, we've now spoken to 3 different reporters on the ground. A quick summary of where they've left us. Very quickly over here, what is the RJD stand? As you can see over here, they want Nitish Kumar to break alliance with the BJP. Something the RJD has been very clear on is first break alliance. Our main goal is to take the BJP out of power. Then we'll figure out everything else. But as you can see, a big question remains on whether Tejasvi Yadav will be nominated by the RJD to possibly be the chief ministerial face. Remember, he has already been the deputy chief minister when Nitish Kumar was chief minister when these parties were last in alliance. Now, another part of the RJD's stand is that they are considering what the possibility of just giving outside support could look like for this party if the RJD and the Congress came together and gave outside support. Now, next, the JDU, led, as you can see on the left, by the Chief Minister Nitish Kumar. He is of the view, as you can see, that this alliance with the BJP is all but over. We've already seen that. He's skipped 5 crucial meetings held by the BJP in the centre. But remember that Nitish Kumar has long been known in Bihar politics for switching sides. So many analysts thought that even though he was saying he wanted to leave the BJP would be able to call his bluff. Now it seems that there was no bluff involved at all, that Nitish Kumar was very much serious in possibly making this departure. Now, here what we do know is that the JDU is ready to join the Mahagathbandhan. Remember, the Mahagathbandhan in Bihar means the coming together of the RJD and the Congress with the JDU. So we know that he is possibly ready to join the Mahagathbandhan, but questions remain. And now, lastly, let's take a look at the BJP. Where does this party, that in the past has seemed so good at strategizing, where do they fall? As we already know, and we've heard this from various BJP spokespeople, the BJP is looking to follow a wait-and-watch policy. They've told their spokespeople not to make any statements. We know that a BJP meeting took place just a few days ago, and in that meeting, you'd had leaders like JP Nadda and Amit Shah present in Patna in Bihar. And at that meeting, they'd said very much that they want to keep their alliance with the JDU, that their alliance with the JDU is crucial in their success in Bihar. But elections are only due in the state in a while from now, 2025. This was possibly a long time coming. Now, there is also the possibility, according to analysts, that they will portray Nitish Kumar leaving them as a betrayal of sorts. Still, what could this actually mean politically for Bihar? What will the BJP's next play be? We aren't yet sure. All right, that's a quick update of where each party stands. Right now, we're heading into a break. On the other side, we're going to move on. We're going to keep bringing you all of the country's top stories. We'll see you a bit right here on the Morning News.